time. Gets a block down the sideline. End zone. Touchdown.
Colorado upsets 13th-ranked Penn State.
Their left foot shot off the post. Hanging on the line. Goal for the Buffaloes. Blitz coming. Spain in trouble. The ball's loose. Scooped up by Colorado and a big man running all the way in.
Which means, once again, your team champions with a low score of 41 points, the University of Colorado Buffaloes.
We come to you from the indoor practice facility here on the campus of the University of Colorado Boulder on the Buffalo Stampede. I'm Mark Johnson. It's a bye week for football. We're talking all kinds of successful programs right now within the athletic department. And how about the cross-country teams sweeping the Pac-12 championships? Ben Saarel from the men's team joining us. That was quite a weekend for you guys down at Tucson.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It's becoming kind of an annual thing for the Buffs to win the championship, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've done it 6 years in a row, and I've done it for 4 years, and I'm glad to be done, and I did it all 4 years I was here. So
warm conditions last week down in Tucson, I understand?
Yeah, it was really, really hot, and just pouring as much water as we could on ourselves before and during the race.
Let's talk, before we talk about the men's team, which you're obviously involved, let's talk about the women's team. I asked you being a running analyst here. Yeah. That was a nice victory for the second year in a row. The CU women's program wins the Pac-12 championship, and they weren't necessarily expecting to this year.
Yeah, I think the women's team, they're one of the best teams in the country this year. Last year, I think they was a little bit unexpected, but this year they're one of the favorites going in, and they just executed and did a fantastic job. So.
You get a chance to train around the women's team. I know Mark Wetmore said it might be the most talented women's team he's had. As you train with them, I mean, you think this is a good squad? You knew it was a good squad?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic women's squad. We have we're really deep through 5, 6, 7 people. So, you know, if even one person having an off day, there's someone right there to fill in for them.
Tell us a little about Erin Clark. I mean, she was nearly won the individual title. She was 4/10 behind the winner.
Yeah, she was really close. I'm sure she wanted to win it, and she came just a little bit short, but she put in a really hard effort. She led, and she did everything she could. So she must be happy with her performance.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, now you mentioned the men's team winning this thing 6 consecutive years. Think about this for a second. In 6 years in the Pac-12, the University of Colorado has won 9 championships. The men 6, the women 3. That's what you call a dynasty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I'm really happy. Hopefully we can keep it going for another 6 years or so. So
you know, the men win this thing, like I said, every single season that they've been in the Pac-12. Is there ever a conversation about that, or is it just we go out and do what CU cross country does?
I think for the most part it's just taking care of business as usual. In the back of your head, though, you're like, well, it would really be a bummer if it stopped this year, and to keep it going means a lot to us, and I think it means a lot to our coaches and all the people that follow us. So
talk about your individual race this year.
Yeah, I think this year for me, I felt really good at 4K, so I started leading a little bit, or the pack, and I just tried to close hard, and all my teammates closed hard with me, and we finished it up really strong. We had a bunch of guys right in the top 10, so we had a whole group right there, and we just controlled the race and finished it off well.
You know, I think when we talk cross country, we think about the individual performance of an athlete out there, but you talk about the team aspect of it. For people who aren't runners, what does that mean? How does the team work within a race?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of guys that are really close together. I think compared to other teams, we have a bigger pack, and so we kind of feed off each other when we're in a race, and people will say, you know, go get them. If you're not having a good day, you try to get your teammates to go out and finish them off strong. And I think just that ability, because we have so many guys so close together that are so good, we're able to say, oh, I got my teammates right here. Let's go, you know, pound Oregon, Stanford, and all those other teams. And it means a lot more when there's guys up there with you, and it makes it easier.
So there is a game plan out there in terms of when you guys are running in the race.
Yeah, I think there's a team game plan and there's an individual game plan. It's more general for the team and more specific for each individual. And so we had a team plan that we kind of are pretty consistent every race, and then individually it kind of changes every race.
You know, we talk about kind of the race awards that we're talking about here in terms of championships and individual honors. Scholar Athlete of the Year in the Pac-12 as well.
Yeah, it was really cool to get that honor, and Aaron got it too. So we're happy to bring back both honors for CU.
Yeah, the epitome of being a student athlete, right?
Yeah, exactly. Student comes first, athlete second. So
congratulations. Yep. Keep up the good work.
Great. Appreciate it.
All
Thanks.
right. Ben Saarel from the CU men's cross country team, 6 consecutive years. 9 of the 12 titles have been won by the University of Colorado men's and women's cross country teams. As we continue into Stampede, we'll talk some CU women's basketball. Kennedy Leonard is going to join us next.
Still got the dribble. Kick over to the left side. Leonard for 3. Yes, sir. Well, the Buffs finally found the mark from outside the arc.
And we continue on to Stampede. Boy, the basketball season is just around the corner, and this young woman next to us is going to do a lot of things for this CU women's basketball team. Kennedy Leonard joining us. How's practice been going? I mean, you're kind of getting deep into camp now, so I'd imagine you're just salivating to finally get to a game, I would think.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to get on the court. It's been a lot of practices, and they're long, and they're hard, and they're tough, but it's a good environment to be in, and it's pretty positive. So it's a good change, and I think I'm just excited to finally get on the court, put on the uniform, and play against people who aren't us.
Sure. And you've got the new coach, J.R. Payne.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what it's like kind of playing for her up to this point.
She's awesome. She's really nice. She's a good person before she's a good coach, so that's really important, not only to me, but I know for the entire team. Mm-hmm. And just the way that she carries herself has kind of represented this whole team, and we're trying to take on her attitude and her positivity, and basically the entire coaching staff is a dream come true. So
does it change the system? I mean, is this going to be a substantial change, you think, that fans will be able to witness when they watch you guys play?
Yeah, it's a huge change. It's still a change for us. We're still learning plays every day and learning new things, so I think that the fans will easily be able to tell. We're up-tempo and we run, and we actually get up the court, and Jay's all over us about it, so
nice.
It's a good feel.
Now, Kennedy, of course, a sophomore out of South Lake, Texas. You had a great freshman campaign, second leading scorer for the Buffs a year ago. Mm-hmm. How do you top that from now your sophomore season?
I don't know. You just play. I don't really think about that kind of thing. Just go out there and play and do whatever I need to do to try to get us some W's.
Now, the off season, you did some international work, right?
I did.
I mean, you've got your mother is British?
Yeah, my mom is Scottish.
Okay, Scottish. So you
British.
played for the British team doing international play.
I did.
How was that?
It was good. It was a good experience. Got to meet a lot of people who I wouldn't meet over here. See a lot of things I probably wouldn't see, and I'm much more appreciative to live in the United States, that's for sure.
What'd you learn about maybe playing internationally? It's a different style of basketball, isn't it?
Yeah, it's physical. The refs didn't speak English. That was kind of interesting. So when you try to, complain about a call or something like that, they have no idea what you're saying, and you have no idea what they're saying. So probably taught me to keep my mouth shut a little bit, which JR would probably love.
Yeah, she probably liked that.
Yeah.
Did it help your game, do you think? Do you think you grew from that?
Yeah, getting able to play those games in the summer is probably really helpful because you don't get to play any games in the off-season due to NCAA rules and stuff like that. So being able to play 6-7 games just in that one tournament will probably benefit not only me, but me to be able to help everybody else get ready for games.
We talk about a new coaching staff and maybe the style changing. You're a young player in your second season. Mm-hmm. There are 4 seniors on this team now as well, right?
Yeah.
So an experienced team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, our seniors take care of us, and I think that their 4 years maybe haven't been exactly what they deserve. So I think that we're trying to send them out on a better note, a positive note, and one that they can be proud of.
We've talked about this with this football program here at CU, the way it's changed, the culture has changed, the mindset, the belief. Is that something you kind of feel is taking place in the women's basketball program as well?
Yeah, I think just like with football being really, really good and them rising, and then, women's soccer is rising. They were last in the Pac-12 last year, and, we didn't have a great year last year, but I think that, the whole attitude around the athletics department is probably, picking not only us up, but, everybody around us, and we're trying to feed off of all that energy.
How about the Pac-12? I mean, this has always been a very good conference for women's basketball, some of the premier programs in America.
Yeah.
It's always a challenge, isn't it?
Always, yeah, day in and day out, every night. No matter who you're playing, you got to be ready. It's a pretty good conference, probably the best in the country, so no off days, as Coach JR would say.
Yeah. How about the non-conference slate for this team?
I'm looking forward to a non-conference. We have, Colorado State, lost to them last year, so a bunch of games that, we think that we can win and get back and, start rolling. So we'll see.
What's the key to being a point guard?
Probably communication, point guard voice. You got to have that booming voice, which can be uncomfortable at times, but also just being an extension of Coach JR on the court and being someone, calm in the eye of the storm.
Do you have to be a confident player? What I mean by that, because you kind of have to be a floor general out there when you got the ball in your hands, don't you?
Yeah, you have to be confident because, you run the entire offense. You're basically the coach on the court, kind of like the mother, which is weird because, I'm a young player, but
right.
You just kind of got to take over and be able to calm everybody down, be able to get everybody into things and just control the game, set the pace.
Those upperclassmen listen to you then or not?
Yeah, I like to think they do. We'll probably have to ask them. But, yeah, I like to think they do. And, we all feed off of each other. So everybody says some things, and you listen, and then you take and you give.
Many times when you think of point guards, you think about you got to come down, you got to distribute, right? You got to get, but you've got a scorer's mentality, obviously, as a player. Yeah,
Coach JR always wants me to attack, as well as Alexis, who's also another off guard. So just being in that attack mentality, and if I attack, to open up my teammates, so then I could even pass it to them. Then I like to pass it to them, and I like to see them do good things. So that's fun for me.
That season opener's not far away, November 11th. The fact that Northern Colorado. Good luck this season.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Kennedy Leonard, sophomore with the CU women's basketball team. We're going to talk with one of the upperclassmen from the men's team, George King, is going to join us as we continue here at the Stampede. Busy weekend for the Buffs, and you can follow all of it by checking out the media schedule at cubuffs.com. Football kicks off the weekend against UCLA in an all-black game, Thursday night at 7 p.m. The game will be televised live on Fox Sports 1, and you can catch it on the radio on the Colorado Football Network. Soccer and volleyball are both at home on Friday. Soccer takes on the Utah Utes at 3 p.m. on the Pac-12 Mountain, and volleyball welcomes Stanford for a 6 p.m. game on the Pac-12 Network. Volleyball also has a match on Sunday against the Cal Bears. First serve for that match is noon, and you can watch it live on the Pac-12 Network. As always, you can check out cubuffs.com for all upcoming games and where you can watch them. King, top of the key. Angles to his right, down to 2, down to 1, pulls up, 3 ball is on the way, fires, and he hits it at the buzzer. We're tied at 78. All hail the King! Holy cow! And we continue in the Buffalo Stampede, still in the indoor practice facility here in the new athletic complex at the University of Colorado. I'm Mark Johnson. This is George King. We got basketball just around the corner. I know, football's going well. And, a lot of times this year we were already talking about basketball, but you've been following this football team?
Yeah, absolutely. They play on Thursday. We're excited about that. They're doing really well.
Good stuff.
We're excited for those guys because, it's been a tough couple of years in the past for them, and it's finally good to see them, all that hard work they've been putting in.
All right, now George is from North Carolina, played your high school ball in San Antonio, but you got the Cubs are in the World Series. You should have not the White Sox, huh?
I should either have I do have an Indians hat. If I were to pick a team to go for, I would go for the Indians, only because I want to see if, I'm not a fan, I just want to see if they're going to say LeBron James broke the
curse?
The curse. Or whatever, but honestly, I'm a fan of the color black, so
all right,
that's why I had to have.
All right,
so.
It's a good thing you came to Colorado then, black and gold. We like that.
I have no haircut right now, so I need a hat on right now.
Hey, how's practice been going?
It's good. It's tough. My legs currently, right now as we speak, are fatigued, but that lets me. That's a good thing, You're supposed to practice harder than you will actually play in a game, and so I think for the most part, that's what I'm doing and everyone else is doing.
George, you sat out, you had that redshirt season. Last year you come back, have a breakout year, most improved player in the Pac-12 a year ago. What does that mean for 2016? You got to elevate your game and become a better player, I would imagine.
Last year means nothing for this year. But to answer your question, I just continue to do what I do best. Don't try to be anybody else besides myself, and I think I'll be fine if I do that.
How do you think this team changes? You take a guy like Josh Scott on the line, but such a cornerstone for this team. Right. From a stylistic standpoint, offensive, defensive standpoint, how does this tein change, you think, this year?
Oh, man, it changes dramatically because he was a big part of our team. He was a leader on the floor, off the floor, all the above. But one way it will change is we won't be may not be seeing our postman being double teamed as much because he demanded a double team. He had a great offensive presence about him. Not saying that Wesley Gordon, Torrey Miller, and our other big guys won't be double teamed, but they might have to establish that. But he had that established coming in, so that allows guys like myself, Josh Fortune, to be open on the perimeter for catch and shoot jump shots. So will that be there here this year? Maybe sometimes. But we have to work accordingly to what the defense does. And defensively, with his presence gone, he was also a great defender. You know what I mean? He's guarding a guy on the post, and we don't have to dig as much on the ball. We can kind of stay out on the perimeter and worry about our man. Not saying that, again, Wesley Gordon, Torrey Miller, and other big guys can't do that as well, but he did so many different things, and he also did a lot of things that aren't necessarily statted in the stat book.
Do you take more responsibility as you become an older player now on this team?
Yeah, absolutely, because I've been around a little bit. It's my 4th year, you know what I mean? So I think any 4th-year guy takes a little bit of ownership, and I'm no different.
Yeah. This team is hungry, and I say that because Tad has made it very clear that just getting to the tournament is no longer the goal. You guys got to get there and make some noise, right?
Right, and I've been saying the same thing. You know, I mean, what's the point of going to the tournament if you're not going to at least advance?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've been telling the guys, you know, Sweet 16 or better.
Yeah.
Sweet 16 or better. You know, a lot of times you shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you may land on the clouds. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of emphasis I've been saying in the locker room.
You know, when you think about where the Buffs were picked in the preseason, you know, 5th coming out of the Pac-12 media days, is that, do you think, motivation for you guys? That maybe those around the conference aren't looking at what you guys have done and saying, well, they're going to continue to do that?
You know, I'm going to sound like Tad Boyle a little bit, but, you know, I've been thinking that myself. Anyway, I believe this, you know, preseason stuff, you know, it kind of means nothing. You haven't played a game yet. We don't know who's going to come out on top or who's going to be on the bottom or who's going to be in the muck, as Tad Boyle would say. But so I'm not really don't really get too much. I don't really get into that as much. But I mean, I think it's great. I mean, maybe what I take from it as being picked 5th is just that we're being recognized in the Pac-12.
Looking forward to that season opener November 11th against Sacramento State. The non-conference slate, fantastic. Going to be very challenging, obviously, in the Pac-12. Good luck this season.
Thank you, MJ.
All right.
Can I call you MJ?
You can call me MJ. Anything you want.
Dope. That's a dope nickname. That's a dope initials right there.
George King and MJs. We'll wrap up this segment here on the Stampede. We're going to talk with the head guy, Rick George, the athletic director here at the University. Yeah, he's going to be joining us next as we continue here on the program.
Hi, this is B.G. Brooks with CUBuffs.com. The calendar says it's November, which in recent years was a say a prayer that it's over kind of month for Buffs football. But this season is different. The Buffs are ranked number 21, lead the Pac-12 South Division, and have a very real shot at playing themselves into the conference championship game on December 2nd. With 6 wins already, they're bowl-bound for the first time since 2007. But the focus and resolve on this team isn't allowing complacency over an assured postseason position to override bigger and better goals. The chemistry on this team takes me back to the one heartbeat teams of the late 80s, early 90s in the Bill McCartney era. I'm not saying that the 2016 Buffs are as talented across the board as those CU teams, but this one is a match for effort, intensity, and locker room leadership provided by a large senior class. Don't think I'm underselling this team's talent. Not at all. The defense has a handful of players who are likely to find themselves on NFL rosters by next Thanksgiving. But talent minus cohesion is a waste for a team. The offense is in the hands of a senior, Sefo Lufau, who is the Buffs' heart and soul. There were more than a few snickers and raised eyebrows in August when the Buffs' stated goal of winning the Pac-12 went public. But 3 months later, that goal is attainable. With 3 of the final 4 games at Folsom Field, November, at long last, has the makings of a feel-good month for CU football. Let's hope the good times begin and continue Thursday night against UCLA.
Burns looking deep left side, and that is picked off. It is Isaiah Oliver, and that will do it.
And we continue on to Stampede, our final segment. We're hooking up with Athletic Director Rick George here at the University of Colorado. First things we got to get to, though, is there was a social media photo of you floating around looking like John Travolta for Halloween.
That's true.
We got to get to the bottom of that.
That was, and I was with Dorothy, and Toto happened to be there with us. But yes, that did happen.
That was pretty good stuff. Dressing up for Halloween, the athletic director here at CU. It's a good time to be in that position, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of success going on with this athletic program right now.
You know, there really is, and it's a tribute to all of our coaches and our staff and our student athletes. You know, when everybody works together and has the same common goals, good things happen. And you know, everybody's moving in the same direction, and you know, we're excited about where we're going. I think, you know, when you're in an athletic department, everybody's competitive anyway,
right?
And so when they see one team doing this great or that student athlete doing that great, everybody wants to do better, and it's kind of fun.
We know one of the great programs here at the University of Colorado is the track and cross country team. And last week down in Tucson, the men's team won for the 6th time in 6 years, the women for the 3rd time in 6 years. That is 9 of the 12 cross country championships are right here in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Mark Wetmore, Heather Burrows, Billy Nelson, they do a phenomenal job with that program. And the great thing about that is we're winning championships. And, 6 in a row for the men, 3rd time that we've won combined championships in the same weekend. But at the same time, they're doing the work in the classroom, too. They're one of our top GPAs for the team. That's important for us. We measure that. It's just a great culture in that program, and they're really having great success, and it's kind of fun to watch. And
not only that, but the soccer is doing fantastic. Got a chance at winning a conference championship here this coming weekend.
Yeah, we do. And, Danny Sanchez has done a great job there. I mean, they win 10 straight in the middle of the year after losing a couple early in a row and, could have got down on themselves, but they didn't. They come into conference play, won 3 on the road, and, we got a big soccer match on Friday, and who knows what'll happen.
And how about this volleyball team as well? I mean, they've been ranked this season as well.
Yeah, they have. Jesse's first year, a Buff, and he's done a great job, and he's had some real big wins. Last couple matches haven't been so good, but they come back home this weekend, and we'll see what happens.
And, of course, Thursday night, UCLA in town. Right now, the Buffaloes are
There's
sitting.
A football game in town?
There is a football game, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You better get ready.
I'm ready.
The Buffs right now sitting atop, all alone, atop the Pac-12 South after the bye weekend and what went down. And so Mike's got them really sitting in a position in the driver's seat in the South.
Yeah, he does. And, the thing I like about this team and I like about what Mike's doing is they're focused on the game as it comes to them. They're not looking ahead, not getting excited about where they are. We're 6-2. We're, still have 4 games to go, but our focus is on UCLA. And when we take that approach, good things have happened. And if you look at our 2 losses, we get beat in the big house in a game where, we got them on the ropes.
Sure.
And then we go to the Coliseum and play a good USC football team and didn't come out on top. But our football team's taking care of business, and they're doing some really significant things.
Well, Rick, we had Darian Hagan on the radio show earlier this week, and I asked him this question. You were around during the championship as well. I said, is there a similar feel when everyone starts buying in, when the focus is sharp, and when the things really gets turning? I mean, you were here the last time it happened. Does this have a similar feel to you?
Yeah, it does. The interesting thing, and I talk about this a lot, is our locker room. We've got great leadership in the locker room. You got Cheetah Bay and you got Cepho, and you just go down the list of our upperclassmen that we have. We've got a very mature squad, and if you look back at the 1990 team, we had great leadership in the locker room. We had a Joe Garton and an Eric Bieniemy that wasn't going to let us lose a football game, and you had an Alfred Williams and a Canavis and a Chad Brown, and we just had so much leadership in that locker room, and the coaches aren't with the players all the time. And so having that kind of leadership in the locker room, I think is significant, and I think you're seeing the fruits of that this year.
And that kind of feeds upon itself, doesn't it? I mean, once you kind of set that standard, not only from a football standpoint, but overall in the program, it kind of feeds upon itself and continues to propel itself.
Yeah, because I think it's important when the student athletes hold each other accountable, and they're looking after it because it's important to them. And we're doing that, and we're seeing the success that we're having on the field.
All right, good stuff. Continue the good work.
Well, we're going to keep after it, I'll promise you that.
All right, Athletic Director Rick George joining us here in the Stampede. Of course, it's a big ball game. The Buffs and the Bruins of UCLA on Thursday night at Folsom Field right behind us. Again, our coverage gets underway at 5 at the Buffalo Stampede. The kickoff at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.